That is, that picture's all right there, Caleb.
That's the sunrise breathing new life into our day here in Portland, Oregon.
That
Greg Nibbler
is the inspirational kind of message we wanted to start the show off with. Hello,
Happy
everyone.
Friday.
This is Digital Trends Live. It is Friday, live here from our office in Portland, Oregon. Thank you for joining us, broadcasting on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitch, taking your comments and questions throughout the day. On the docket today, let's just walk through what we're going to be doing here. We've got our New York studio, which is waiting on standby because at some point here, in the next 15-20 minutes, we're going to be heading over to our New York studio with the editor-in-chief, Jeremy Kaplan, for his segment, Hear Me Out. I am so excited to have Hear Me Out back. It's where Jeremy talks about whatever he wants to talk about. I can say today it's Android Auto. I don't know what his take is on it. We will have to watch to find out ourselves. So that's coming up. We've got Matt Smith, our computing editor, who's going to be joining us here for a newer segment that we've done. We did one segment of this before with Drew Prindle called Explain Yourself. Now, Digital Trends has been around for a while. We've got a vast archive of videos, including a period where we had some very interesting ones that were done. Caleb was part of one of those. We had Drew on explaining that at one point. I'll just say this, there are cats and there are computers. Why they're together, I do not know, but Matt will explain it.
You do not want to miss that, trust me.
You want to see what goes on there. and then we're going to be joined by documentary filmmaker Pete Williams to talk about his new documentary called The New Breed. It's about something that he's calling the social entrepreneur. And so we're going to be discussing that. It's basically a bunch of people doing really good things around the world, but using kind of their influence and a business mind for it. We'll have him explain it in a much better way, but he's going to be joining us here in just a little bit as well. And here in studio, I'm Greg Nibbler with none other than Caleb the Whiskey Mist Dennison.
Good morning.
Good morning, Caleb. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. You know, I'm getting better and better. I came down with a nasty cold, and
you did.
You can kind of hear the effects of that.
Yeah. But it gives you a sultry, it's like a sultry voice.
Yeah, I enjoy my morning voice, you know, and then it's pretty much gone by the end of the day. You know, other than that, I'm great. I mean, you saw the sunrise outside.
It is.
Great.
It looked nice.
It looks like a great day for oatmeal and tech.
There we go. Oatmeal and tech. That's our new...
Some apple, cinnamon, Quaker oats, and tech.
Be the new pre-morning show
Maybe
with Caleb
grape
Dennison,
nuts.
where he just eats oatmeal and talks about things.
Or grape nuts.
And grape nuts.
The impossibly crunchy cereal.
Grape nuts are gross. All right, let's go.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. All right, let's get to our leading tech topic here today.
Nibbler has serious opinions about cereal.
But don't get me started on grape nuts. All right, let's talk about our leading tech story here. It's Friday. We got to keep it together. We got a show to do. Here's the big story that's been coming out this morning, and it's actually not a fun tech story today. It has to do with Marriott Hotels, and in particular a chain of hotels they own called the Starwood suite of hotels, which includes St. Regis, Westin, Sheraton, and W hotels. Probably every one of us out there has stayed at one of those hotels in the last, say, 4 to 5 years.
I am a Starwood preferred guest member.
Well, then you are not going to like this story.
No,
because it has just been revealed, Marriott has admitted that up to 500 million guest reservations, which means guests' info, has been hacked and stolen through Starwood's system.
I guarantee you that I'm one of those people.
I mean, 500 million.
Yeah.
I mean, the chances are probably
with a number
really
that big,
good.
I for sure had my data stolen. I don't know what kind of data they have of mine, though. I know they don't have my passport, but I mean, isn't that one of the things that is logged in sort of the member profile?
That's kind of what they're revealing right now. So Marriott has put out this, I'll kind of walk through what they've said and what we know so far. So they said hackers had gained unauthorized access to the Starwood reservation system since 2014, but the company only identified the issue last week. So they just found out about this. And what it is, they're still determining what information was got, but they believe that for 327 million of those 500 million, Marriott says the guests' exposed information includes their names, phone numbers, email addresses, passport numbers, date of birth, and arrival and departure information. That is a lot of information.
Name and date of birth and passport.
The passport
when you combine those three, that can be pretty dangerous. You know what I worry about, though, is like, I feel like, especially in 2017 and 2018, we just keep hearing about these data breaches, one after another after another. I think Nordstrom recently reported that they had a bunch of customer data. It happens all the time, to the point where I feel like people are kind of becoming numb to this.
Yeah.
This is a real problem.
It
is. One day you check your credit score or you check your bank account or whatever, and you find out that somebody spoofed you. That's a dark day. And I mean, it takes a lot to unravel that
That's the
whole
thing.
mess.
Even with some of the protections out there, once it happens, yeah, to go back through, go to the bank, say, hey, no, this wasn't me, all that fighting. I mean, you could be, even if the results are good for you, it could still take months and months and months to resolve that.
No good. Has Marriott said what they're going to do about this? How they're going to help the people who have been hacked?
Right now, since it was just pretty much announced, this is what CEO, let's see, Arne Sorensen said. We fell short of what our guests deserve and what we expect of ourselves. We're doing everything we can to support our guests and using lessons learned to be better moving forward.
Typical PR response.
Right.
That doesn't help me out.
They're giving you a free membership to WebWatcher, which is a personal information monitoring service. So if you were potentially hacked, there is a website that is set up. We've got a link at digitaltrends.com. I think this is one of our leading stories on there. You can take a look at it, and there's a link to the site they've set up where you can at least get some information. I don't think they've set anything up, at least as of right before we went on the show, where you can find out if your information was stolen. You know, as far as email, they did say that they're going to get in contact with some of these customers, but I imagine they're trying to unravel this themselves. If they just found out this week, figuring out how to contact 500 million people,
they're scrambling,
you know, and who had what information and what they need to be doing is probably a lot to figure out.
Well, I'll be eyeballing my inbox because I mean, this is one time where if they're offering free, you know, credit monitoring service, I'm going to pick them up on that. I'm going to take them up.
Yeah, and this, I mean, right now, as far as what we know, this sounds like it's about the third biggest hack ever for corporate data. The largest one
because of the sheer numbers of people.
The sheer numbers, yeah. The largest being Yahoo, which said that 3 billion accounts encompassing several of its brands were compromised. We all remember the huge Yahoo one.
Yeah.
Adult Friend Fighter, which had 412
Don't know anything about
accounts
that one.
were hacked. I wasn't on that.
I was not involved with that one.
We're not on that.
I'm a Starwood preferred guest member, but I am not an Adult Friend Finder member.
So, well, we can look that up. So at Whiskey Miss.
At Whiskey Miss.
Wait a minute. So anyway, Adult Friend Finder, 412 million accounts were hacked, and then now, 500 million. So I guess actually this could be the second biggest, kind of depending on what information was taken and where it goes from here. But that's the breaking story. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more that comes out. Follow at Digital Trends. We'll keep you updated on what information we find out as Marriott releases more and more info on who got their stuff stolen.
Would you rather get free web monitoring service or a credit monitoring service, or would you rather have a free night in any of their properties?
Is airfare included?
No.
Then no. I'll take the monitoring service.
Right.
Because otherwise it's going to cost me more to get there.
Well,
and you know they're not going to throw in taxes anyway. They'll be like, oh yeah, no, it's hotel's free, but it's $150.
Taxes and reservation fee.
Yeah, no. Anyway, in our hypothetical situation, no. I'm going to pass on that.
Okay, well, I had to ask.
No, it's a fair question. I think we all need to ask ourselves that. All right, let's go on to our Read 'em and Weep segment. We do have a lot of other tech headlines we're going to get to here, but we have our Read 'em and Weep segment where we read the comments that you, in fact, post on our site.
I hope we have some good ones this time.
And I try not to look at them beforehand. Jake curates these. Jake Rossman, producer behind the scenes. So I don't know what he's pulled, and I don't know where these are coming from, but we are going to pull some of these up and take a look at some of the Read 'em and Weep segments. So we have Craig Fender regarding Fortnite addiction spurs parents to send their kids to video game rehab. That is an actual story that's going on right now. Kids are becoming so addicted to Fortnite that they have to go to rehab. My kids are addicted to bothering me while I'm busy playing Fortnite, said Craig.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you play
Good
Fortnite?
Response. I don't yet, but I have a feeling I'm gonna.
I tried it. And my problem was playing on online games that I suck, so that's really where it comes down to. And I don't like losing. I also get video game rage, so I'm like, yeah.
You throw things across the room and bash things.
Yeah, so I can't play with others.
You know, I'm fortunate. I have kids, and they responsibly play Fortnite. They get on, they play a little Fortnite.
Yeah.
I'm done. They'll play some Mario Kart, you know, maybe put on some SpongeBob. They don't get so sucked into it. I think there's a certain age at which you just get so locked in that you play all night and then you don't go to school.
Yeah.
Maybe you forget to eat. I mean, I can see that happening. A lot of people are like, that's pathetic. I've seen the comments on this particular story in a number of different forums, and I think people forget that it's really easy to get addicted to something like that. You get sucked in and then you never walk away.
Sucked in. I mean, it's interactive. You're playing. There's everything going on. Yeah,
I feel for Craig though. Kids constantly interrupting.
Yeah, that's annoying, Craig.
One time I pick up the video game, everybody else wants to play it. I understand that.
Lame. All right, Craig, we understand. Let's go on to the next one here. We've got Cliff Smith regarding DAE made an animated, Day made an animated music video using Pro Tools. So this is
Day.
This is actually, Day was on the show earlier this week, I think on Monday actually, was part of our broadcast here on Monday. Was it just Cyber Monday on Monday?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, he was part of our broadcast on Cyber Monday and created a really unique music video. Musical artist using Pro Tools and then dubbing himself in. But Cliff just said, WTF am I watching? I mean, I can see that, especially if you don't listen to the explanation. You're just like, what is going on here?
Really? Was it that mysterious?
I mean, it's probably not. I think it could probably deduce what's happening. But it's pretty interesting. I thought the video was really great.
So his response is probably like, more along the lines like, whoa, and then not dismissive.
Not like
what
whoa.
the hell is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. There's a real big difference in there.
Two different kinds of woes.
Whoa. Whoa.
His was the former, not the latter.
Yes, so we figured that out. Thanks, Cliff. We interpreted your comment. All right, let's see. We got Jesse Roman. 8 seats and 16 cup holders. The 2020 Hyundai Palisade reports for family hauling. You can never have too many cup holders.
True that.
That's a fact. That is actually true. Although my problem with cup holders is that I end up leaving things in each cup holder. And then
there's
I'm really
nothing
admitting
available.
a lot of my problems here today. I think it's
You know what? That's
a
what
bit
we're
of
here
therapy.
for, Greg, is to go ahead and let you vent those.
Yep. Even those keeping track at home, no to grape nuts, and I put too many cups in my cup holders.
Do you have like sticky sort of rings?
No.
Things, leftovers that attract dust and little tiny grape nut particles that get stuck in there?
Not at all. Nope.
If you had 16 cup holders, you'd have a whole lot more of that, wouldn't you?
15 with sticky residue.
And one that you held aside.
One that
oh,
was
you don't use that
pristine.
cup holder. That's the clean one.
Nobody touches my cup holder. Yes, just the one. The one will
It's
be.
funny what we protect in our
All right.
Or is that just me?
I don't know.
Happy Friday, Greg.
Yep, let's go on. All right, Jesse, good comment there. Bo Rerun, regarding Google Pixel Slate 2-in-1 review. We've had a lot of comments on this review I believe Luke Larson did this review for the Google Pixel Slate. People get very up in arms one way or another about Google Chrome. And let's see, Slate and iPad are for children, and a Surface are for adults with real computing needs.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad that he's enjoying that ride on that high horse. Yes.
You're all idiots.
Very, very businessy. You know, whatever, man. I use I use all these things. I use an iPad for business every day. It's my music book. I don't have to worry about sheet music anymore. I can just mount an iPad on my stand and read off of that. I guess I'm a children, though. That makes me a children.
I'm a children.
Because I use an iPad. I'm a children.
Well, Bo,
Thanks, Bo.
duly noted. Thanks for that.
Keep the comments coming, though. I like it.
We're liking the comments, and I want to address some of our live comments right now here that we've got going on, since we are broadcasting live on Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, and YouTube. Keelan just said, I think Greg's problem is that denim-adjacent shirt he's wearing to go with his jeans today. I forgot that the jeans show on camera. I know I've got kind of a Canadian tuxedo look going, but I mean, it's a nice shirt. It's a nice shirt. But
Keelan's, he's clowning your double down.
Thank you for
denim.
calling out my worst fear that I thought was going to happen about this shirt, and nailed it. So 13 minutes in.
I had a denim shirt in a high school that I wore. I was very proud of it. That was the hot thing back then, denim shirt.
It was. We're bringing it back. We're fashion forward here.
Denim on denim.
On Digital Trends Live. Yeah, I'm a
Bring the
trendsetter.
90s back.
All right, let's go on from Jesse Roman. You can soon have Alexa tell your big mouth Billy Bass to start singing. Please throw this in a box, pour gasoline or any combustible liquid all over it, then watch it burn with everlasting glee that it is now gone, then tell Alexa to call the fire department. How can you do that if you just burned it, Jesse? I mean, that's really what the bottom line, the logic circle, the circle of logic there doesn't.
I get what Jesse's saying. He was really hating on the Billy Bass, and he just wanted to say something funny.
Had to get it out there. I know, I'm going to tell you this. We're getting a Billy Bass here in studio. I already revealed that earlier this week.
We destroyed a Billy Bass back in the day.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen the Never Wet video?
Oh, yes. Well, that's what actually we were talking about before, because Drew was, I didn't know there was a Billy Bass.
In that video, there's a Billy Bass that we coat with Never Wet and toss into a swimming pool. It's the only tech item that still moved around a little bit or had some semblance of operationability
after being
dropped in the pool. The Billy Bass is a remarkably resilient piece of tech.
It's
Let's
like
clown it too hard.
It's the tech that's going to survive, the nuclear apocalypse.
Yep.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We'll all be gone, but the Billy Basses they'll still be singing long after we're gone. They'll be singing our swan song.
I'm not sure how many more we have left here. Let's take a look since I don't look through them myself. Oh, that's it. Okay, so that's probably enough anyway. So that was our Read 'em and Weep segment. Let's continue on to our other headlines. Now this one, we are talking about Alexa, so let's discuss this. And it's a new thing. It is Apple, and this is one of the other leading stories right now, is Apple Music can now be streamed via Alexa, meaning that it's an Alexa skill for Amazon Echo devices.
Meaning one less reason to buy a HomePod.
And that's what's interesting.
And that's pretty much the story right there.
Yeah.
They finally let Apple Music out of their little walled garden.
Which is rare for Apple to do anything like that.
It's very rare for Apple to do that, and I can understand why they would want it to keep it. You can get Apple Music basically on your iOS device, and that's
about it.
And that's about it. So the fact that they made that jump into Alexa ARM devices is pretty big.
Yeah.
That's a big decision for Apple. What kind of defeat are they admitting there, if any?
Well, and there's about 50, at least according to this estimate, about 56 million people subscribe to Apple Music. So, it's a big service. And they're even claiming they have more US subscribers than Spotify. Spotify has more worldwide. I haven't verified those numbers, that's just a claim. But yeah, now that it's available on there, it is the whole HomePod thing. You're absolutely right. The HomePod thing is the main thing. They're saying yeah, we get it, you're not buying the HomePod.
Exactly. They still want to have music in people's homes the way they're starting to listen to it, with these smart speakers. So might as well. So is it about to hit other Android platforms? Because at the end of the day, Amazon's Fire OS and all that other stuff, it's basically an Android platform. So why not just go ahead and let people with Android phones do it? If you want to beat Spotify, and that's what they're trying to do, is take over Spotify as the #1 streaming service in the world, you have to be everywhere Spotify is.
Well, and I think especially what they're saying right now is, they clearly care more about Apple Music subscriptions than they do about HomePod, people buying HomePods, which makes sense. There's not a lot of people buying the HomePod. But would that be enough, though, for when it comes to iPhones? Do you think they care that they're going to put it in there?
I don't know.
Or do you think they can influence enough people to buy an iPhone device? Because they're also going to be having, their streaming service and exclusive content. There's big questions that Apple's going to have to figure out.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Apple's on shaky ground with anything other than just iPhone and Apple Music. And iPad, of course.
And the iPad.
Venturing into the streaming content thing outside of music, I don't have a whole lot of trust that they can really break into that.
Yeah, let's see. I'm taking a look here at one of the comments. This is kind of going off on something else. Do you think Apple will ever introduce a real desktop class OS for iPad? Computing power is already there, or are they too afraid it will hurt their MacBook Pro sales?
That's a great question. You look at the iPad Pro right now, which, let's face it, costs more than a desktop PC that you could build.
And it's really powerful.
It is super powerful. Are they going, or is what's going to happen, macOS and iOS, the lines between the two get blurred, and you can't really tell the difference between the two, where it's basically a unified OS. That's a great question. I'd love to see some more desktop-like functionality coming out of that. If something that small and portable and convenient can outclass, a big bulky desktop PC, then it should, When we saw hints of that with Adobe optimizing their Photoshop software for the iPad, it's like they're moving in that direction very slowly.
Yeah.
But once you do that, you kind of eliminate the need for their laptop market. Why would you need a MacBook Air after that, Because so they're cannibalizing their own business. They have to be careful about that.
Yeah, it will be really interesting to see where they go with that.
But with Apple Music inside the Alexa speakers, kind of a big deal. It doesn't seem like it, but it's a big business move on Apple's part.
There's so many of those devices. The question then, is does it go into Google? Does it go into, what other devices is it going to be available for?
You have a smart speaker at home. If you had the choice between Spotify and Apple Music, which would you choose?
Spotify.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's just where I'm at. But I'm already in that ecosystem. I'm not in the Apple.
I just realized that I'm still paying for Apple Music. About 8 months after I meant to just sign on for 2 months and get some testing around here done, And I swear to God, this is how they make a lot of money. They get people to just sign on or do their free trial and wait for people to forget that they have the subscription and blindly pay, auto pay out of their account, you know, $8 a month, $10 a month, or whatever it is, until they realize and cancel, which is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to cancel Apple Music.
Right here.
Now you know.
On Digital Trends Live.
Yeah, but I'm with you, Spotify all the way. Sorry.
Yeah. Same here. But that is the news. So Apple Music now being able to be used on an Amazon Echo device. I'm just realizing we're about out of time.
What?
I know. We've hardly even got to all the tech headlines, but that's the fun thing about Digital Trends Live. There's always something happening on this show.
We didn't even have time to make fun of Elon Musk.
No, but we had time to make fun of my shirt. So
yes,
let's say this. Coming up here in just a little bit, we're going to have Matt Smith for the Explain Yourself segment talking about cats and computers. You just have to watch it.
You do not want to miss this. Trust me, it is so good.
You don't want to miss that. And then Pete Williams joining us here also to talk about his documentary, The New Breed, and it's really a really great documentary, so we're going to be discussing that. But now it is time for us to head to our New York studio, where we're going to be joining with Jeremy Kaplan. So Jeremy Kaplan is our editor-in-chief, our leader here for Digital Trends, and he has his segment called Hear Me Out. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to hear Me Out, and I am really excited to see what he has to say about this. It's going to be discussing, I think Android CarPlay or
Android Auto.
Android Auto, excuse me.
Yep.
I'm going to not talk over that. I'm just going to go ahead and let Jeremy do it. Caleb, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And let's go to Jeremy Kaplan now. Hello, New York.
Hello, Portland. Good morning to you. It's actually afternoon over here in New York, slightly 12:20 for us. Greetings to our audience. Thanks for tuning in. I wanted to talk to you today about this, Android, which I am a big fan of. Oh, goodness, that didn't happen. As many of you know, I'm also a big fan of Android Auto, a familiar, friendly interface, an easy-to-use interface for the head unit, the crap that the car companies have been trying to sell to us. Please bring it on. Which is why I was a little bit dismayed this summer when I accidentally leased a car that didn't have it. It's my own fault, I have to confess. And it's also due partly to the complete confusion at the Nissan car dealership that I went to. I leased a 2018 Nissan Sentra, and every other car in Nissan's lineup for some reason has auto. That's the Maxima, the Leaf, the Murano, the Rogue, the Kick. If you know what that is, all of the other cars have it except for the Nissan Sentra, which my dealer told me it did. So, hey, what are you going to do? It's partly my own fault, of course, and I'm going to suffer and pay the price when I go back and upgrade my car by breaking my lease, which I'm going to do, A, because I'm a dork, but B, because Android Auto is so great. In fact, a whole bunch of changes just came out for Android Auto, which we'll walk through, which make it a little bit easier to use and a little bit more fun. However, I think there's a real problem, a real potential problem that is, with Android Auto, which could cause our dashboards to become dumpster fires. Hear me out. First, the good news. There are a bunch of changes that are coming out. If you haven't gotten them already, you'll see them in the next couple of days to Android Auto, particularly around messaging and music. So one of the big changes is that the music module surfaces to the top of your screen. So you won't have to sift through a whole bunch of notifications from a whole bunch of random apps when you're driving. You just want to see the next thing. You want to go to the next track. This should make it a lot easier for you. And of course, voice control in Android Auto is a great experience. Although, frankly, my Nissan does a good job of it. But anyway, you can't talk to an ordinary car the way you can to Android Auto or to CarPlay, by the way. Both great platforms. To your Android, if you're in your Android Auto powered car, you can just say, play me some tracks by Coldplay, and bam, you'll get Coldplay. Great little feature. Another nice function, you can get notifications from group messages now rather than just messages from single people. And if you pull up to a stop sign or a traffic light, that message will pop up on your display so you can actually read it and see it. Kind of handy. I really like where this is going. However, those are all the good things. There's a real potential downside that has me a little bit worried, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit today. The problem is advertising. And advertising is everywhere in the world at large, of course. You walk outside, you've got billboards blaring at you. You turn the TV or the radio on, you've got commercials coming at you. You go to any website out there, including mine, the Digital Trends website, and you'll see more ads than you really want. Let's face it, they're obnoxious. The one place that we don't have a lot of ads is in our cars. It's a blissful little serene ride, except for from the radio, of course, but for the most part, it's a blissful ride that's an ad-free experience. How long is that going to last? There's a company called Telenav that in January, about a year ago, announced an in-car advertising platform. Think about this. There's been a lot of movement towards location-based computing, location-based information. Picture this. You come up to a stop sign. It's, I don't know, 12:25 as it is right now. You come up to a stop sign and there's a McDonald's nearby you, and the McDonald's app talks to this Telenav system and pops a little alert up on your display that says, hey, take a right up here and maybe you'll get $2 off your next McNugget. On the one hand, sure, that's convenient. I like convenience. On the other hand, I'm a little tired of ads, as I'm pointing out. I don't know that that's necessarily the best experience or something useful. And I don't know where that company has gone with that product. We haven't heard a lot about it. But it'll be very interesting to see what they say at CES 2019, just a month from now. Meanwhile, keep in mind a couple of other areas where the cockpit, your car, has become more of a retail and advertising space than you might imagine. GM announced a deal about a year ago to let you order beverages and make restaurant reservations through that OnStar system. Again, on the one hand, convenient. I don't mind saying to my OnStar system, place an order, my usual, at the Dunkin' Donuts, and pulling up when I get into the restaurant and just picking up my coffee and my donuts. That's convenient. On the other hand, retail and advertising go hand in hand, and the blending in there of this into this environment where we haven't had it kind of has me a little worried. Especially think about this. In April, Coca-Cola announced a partnership with a company called Cargo. Cargo does retail in vehicles. That's right, they sell stuff in cars. Cargo's focus is on ride sharing. Think Lyft, think Uber. The concept being you open up the app from your back seat, you hit a button, you order a Coca-Cola, you come to a stop and the driver reaches into a little spot, hands it to you in the back seat. Again, convenient. Okay, I guess that's convenient. But now we've got retail in the back seat and we've got ads possibly coming into the front seat. Think about the New York City taxi experience, the same in taxis around the country. There's oftentimes a screen in the back seat already blaring ads at you. So now there's ads and retail in the back seat and in the front seat. Doesn't bode well. I'm especially more concerned about the future here when we talk about self-driving vehicles. A lot of people think about self-driving vehicles as, well, think about the experience of being in a self-driving vehicle. All of a sudden you're not driving, you're really a passenger. And a lot of companies have been talking about changing around the interior of the car entirely, where you don't need back seats and front seats anymore if nobody's driving, right? So you're just in a ordinary environment, like a couch, a lounge-like environment. One of the things that this company, Telenav, has been stressing is that their ads don't pop up when you're driving. They don't want to distract you, which makes a lot of sense. If nobody's driving, there aren't really any boundaries like that. Most of the prototypes that I've seen for cockpits of the future, again, loungy experiences, have a lot of screens and displays. So the point I'm trying to make here, we've already got retail coming into your car. There's advertisements in the back seat. There's advertisements in the front seat. And in the future, I think we're going to see an awful lot of advertisements basically everywhere in there. I like driving my car. I kind of like the privacy that I get from not having those ads in there. We'll see what happens. Convenience is a great thing after all, and I don't want to take away convenience. Just something to keep your eyes on. Meanwhile, I don't know if I'm going to upgrade that Nissan because, I don't know where things are going really. Do I want those ads? We'll see. What do you think? I'd love to hear some feedback. Let me know if you've had these same concerns or if I'm just worrying for no reason. Meanwhile, Greg, I'll send it back to you. Thanks for listening to me, and thanks for hearing me out.
Thanks so much, Jeremy. Jeremy Kaplan, editor-in-chief of Digital Trends. I love the Hear Me Out segments for hearing Jeremy's thoughts on all of this. And actually, it's a really good point where all that's going, because there's no way they're not going to start putting advertisements in every possible place. And a lot to think about. And drop your comments, your questions in there. Broadcasting live on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. So let us know what you think about that. And now it's time for one of our newer segments here for Digital Trends Live. We did one already before a couple of weeks ago with our pal Drew Prindle hopping in here to talk about former videos from Digital Trends. And we're joined now by Matt Smith for Explain Yourself. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
Matt is our computing editor here at Digital Trends, and you've been here for quite a while with Digital Trends.
Yeah, I've been with DT officially about 4 years.
So
but I was a freelancer for a while before that.
So you've seen some different eras of Digital Trends.
Yes.
As far as when it comes to different kind of video content, like Digital Trends Live, you know, this is really about a little over, I don't know, 2 months old, something like that, or about 2 months. I forget at this point. But, you know, there's all kinds of different themes that we've gone through with videos, and as we started digging through some of the older videos, we decided to start this segment called Explain Yourself. Now, Drew's video involved him getting tied up with duct tape and then having things thrown on him, and then Caleb throwing things in water, for some reason bullying him. And then we found this video of Matt here doing a review of a computer. So I thought maybe we could just play part of the video and then walk through
Let's go for it.
what it is we're looking at. One of the things you notice right off the bat is there is a cat right there in the start of the video.
Yep.
Now, Matt, why is there a cat in your video?
Well, obviously, Greg, we were in a room which had cats in it, quite a few cats. So it's difficult to film a video in a room with cats in it. And
not have the cat involved.
in the video.
So, so that day you're like, you know, there's nowhere else I can film but in this room with cats.
Yeah, it was actually at the Sherwood, Oregon cat adoption team.
So that actually that wasn't even at your house.
No.
So how did the idea?
That would be kind of weird. That'd be a weird looking house.
It would be strange, but I mean, you know, I'm not judging. There's a cat in the computer video. So how did the idea come about to film a computer review video in a cat adoption center?
Well, I don't know. Are you kidding me? Have you been on the internet? Like, people like cats.
So it's really just, people like cats. Let's get some cats in here.
So it was kind of like we wanted some ideas for some different videos that could be a little, I don't know, quirky, a little unusual, and cats came up pretty quickly.
Cats would be.
So and then you know the people down at the
millennials
adoption
like cats.
team, they were happy to have us come by, and we were like, yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I love it. I think it's great. I just think it's not the typical computer review video.
Definitely not.
I'm looking here in the chat, or sorting us on Twitch just said Google Cat Remover will fix that. If you want to have the cat.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the Chrome. There's like extensions, browser extensions,
where you can remove.
But you can do that for anything. Like if you look at like the Chrome store, there's like a remover for like.
Yeah, for about.
Or you can add beards to everyone.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah, that's always an option. There's probably also one that add cats too.
Where you can just because I think we need
every
cats
photo on the internet. Replace every photo with photos of cats. I would bet that's a Chrome extension.
We need a Digital Trends Live cat. That's what we need. That just hangs out here.
Yes, we do.
So taking a look at the video. So what made you choose this specific cat for the computer? Because I see it feels like that's the cat that's featured the most.
It was more like the cat chose us because. You know, like the cat adoption team is a cat shelter. So we basically, you know, just went into one of the rooms that has like, I don't know, 5 cats, you know, just living there, hanging out to be adopted. And some of the cats, in the video, like I think there's a particular black cat that is there the most. And
yeah, that's the one I was kind of
There's a few others that you will see like for a few seconds in some of the other shots. But the black cat was the one that was like most interested in what we were doing. So that ended up being our star, you know, from the very start. Just, you know, coming around, getting on top of the laptop, you know, just checking us out. So
yeah, I do.
Yeah, there you go.
Sitting the cat on the laptop.
Which cats love to sit on laptops because they're warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like,
it's also really gross to touch afterwards.
If anyone has a cat in a laptop, is probably running into this problem.
I'm noticing the next reviewer got a computer full of cat hair.
Yeah, they were probably a little curious about why there was cat hair in their computer.
Who was this? Whose computer was it?
It was Asus.
Asus?
Yeah.
So yeah, did you have to return that computer afterward?
Yeah.
Were they aware that the cat was used in the video?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so they found out.
I don't think they had any idea, yeah.
When it came out. Katie on Facebook just said, I take cats on my computer over ads in my car. So, yeah.
Yes, for sure. I think if we replaced ads with cats, and that would actually make a really good economy.
Yeah, there we go. I think we figured that out. So this is, again, our segment of Explain Yourself, where we walk through some of these older videos and talk about them. I think it's awesome. I think that we should do more cat videos. I think
that's what everyone has been saying since this like reemerged.
Yeah, we've been digging through some of these archives, and we've got several other ones that we'll still be doing segments on, where people will come on here and just talk about their video experiences. But I love the cat aspect.
Yeah, I think you're onto something with the idea of having a Digital Trends Daily Cat.
You know, I mean, this is Digital Trends Live. You know, we have, every day here something different, and it's Friday today, so, bear with us. It's been a long week. We had Cyber Monday and all that. But saying, eventually we want to get into, a zoo segment where we bring in, strange animals and...
A zoo segment?
Yeah, that's what, that was Avros.
I'm not saying up for that. That sounds a little dangerous.
Okay, never mind. All right, we'll stick with the cat.
It sounds like a really bizarre workers' comp claim. In the
that's true. A lot of waivers.
So it says here you were mauled by a lion.
A lot of waivers will have to be signed for future episodes of Digital Trends Live. Well, Matt, thank you for hopping in here to explain yourself for this video.
I hope I did explain myself. I think it's perfectly.
Is there anything else
I don't know
what.
No, I don't think anything needs to be explained. It's a video with cats in it. Like it. Everyone knows what's up.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. Okay, well, fair enough. Fair enough. We needed you to have your say on this, and yeah, talk about this. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Matt. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and go to a quick break. And what we'll do is we'll kind of reset here, because coming up in just a few, we've got Pete Williams, who's going to be in here to talk about his new documentary, The New Breed, which we are very excited about. And we've got a trailer that we're going to end up showing for that and talking about that and explaining what a social entrepreneur is, because that's kind of his term that he's using in that. And I want to get the definition from Pete himself and talk about his documentary. Matt, thanks for hopping in here and joining us.
Thanks for having me back on.
And let's go to a quick break. We're broadcasting live. We want to hear your comments, your questions. I'm seeing a lot of stuff on here that are hopping in, so please let us know what you feel about everything we're bringing up today on this Friday right here with Digital Trends Live. Back here with more Digital Trends Live. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. I got to say, there is a theme that has been established for today's show, and it is denim. We've got a lot more that we're going to be discussing, but Jeremy Kaplan, myself, and our next guest that is joining us right now. So we love having different interviews and talking to different creators here on Digital Trends Live, and we are joined now by Pete Williams, filmmaker extraordinaire. Thank you, Pete, for hopping in here with us today.
Good to be here, man.
Good to be
here.
I mean, it's good to have you in here, and I do want to discuss, there's so much about your movie. We're going to be playing the trailer here in just a minute, talking about the documentary, and again, called The New Breed. But one thing I think I wanted to talk about first is clarifying, you say that this is a movie about the social entrepreneur.
Exactly.
What is a social entrepreneur? What is the definition?
This is something that's a word that's been around for about 10 years now, and a lot of people still don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But for my film, our definition is a social entrepreneur is someone who creates a business with the primary objective of fixing a social or environmental problem.
So trying to solve something, trying to fix something for other people, which is,
Exactly.
you know, kind of a noble way to start a business.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but at the same time, it's a business. So
Exactly.
Yeah, and so how that all works. Well, why don't you walk us through what this documentary was about? Like what you did for this.
Sure. Well, about 6 years ago, I had a TV show called Makers, which was about young entrepreneurs around the world making things with their hands. And I noticed some of these makers had some kind of social impact built into their business. And I
Okay.
thought, that's an interesting idea. Maybe that could be something to explore later.
Right, so you're doing this, so you're doing the television show, meeting all these different people. And where was the television show?
It was on Channel 4 in the UK.
Okay.
It's kind of like the HBO of Europe. Channel
Nice.
4.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So you're doing this and you're meeting all these different people and thinking maybe there's a theme here that could work for a movie. And we're gonna play the trailer here in just a minute, but just to talk about this, what did it take to get this movie made?
Dude, it was tough. This is my first feature film. So in the past, I was just given budgets to make content, commercials and TV shows. And this one I had to fund myself. So I had to learn how to raise money for feature films.
That's
and
a lot.
develop a feature film and then shoot it and edit it. It's been 3 years in total.
3 years in the making for this. And how did you choose who it was you were going to film? How did you choose your subjects for this?
Yeah, so I spent a whole year traveling around the world meeting social entrepreneurs. I met with over 100 people.
Wow.
And I just tried to pick the ones that were most engaging on camera, someone that the viewers could fall in love with and really be engaged in their story, and different businesses. So the 3 businesses that I chose are very different life cycle stages of their business. One's a startup, one's 10 years old, and different products.
Yeah, and different kinds of people that they're helping. And I know, you know, like you said, you went all over the world. So I know in this movie, it's featured in several different places.
Yeah.
Where all did you go in this?
We spent some time in Uganda, Chile, Peru, Guatemala, Haiti, Canada, and all over the USA.
Wow, that is crazy. That is a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
So I can see why that took a long time to make. Well, I want to come back and talk about more about this, and we can take comments and questions too, because we're broadcasting live. So I want to see what people want to say, what your questions are about this. But why don't we go ahead and roll the trailer, and we'll get a better idea, I think, for everybody of what's going on in the movie, and come back and talk to Pete some more.
Our biggest global problems like poverty, inequality, and climate change are not being fixed by governments or charities. Business has been corrupted, putting profit before people and the planet. Our generation has learned that protesting, occupying, and boycotting is not enough. If we want to create a world that's fair, peaceful, and healthy, we need a new form of activism. A movement has begun. Young entrepreneurs are combining the best parts of business and the social sector to tackle the world's biggest issues.
Ten 10% of the ocean's pollution is due to stuff like this. Discarded, derelict fishing nets.
Our generation and the generations that are coming up are seeing the state of the world and the way things are going, and they see by buying a product that might cost a little more, but by making a positive impact, they can do so much more in the world. We made a 25-inch plastic cruiser skateboard, and we've sold a couple thousand of them to this point.
Last Saturday was the first graduation ceremony that I was able to be a part of. It's hard to put into words how special that was. Getting to hear some of the stories of our graduates that have actually graduated out of our programs and who are standing independently on their own 2 feet, that is the realization of our vision.
Join us on an entrepreneurial journey, from global problems to business solutions, and all of the challenges, adventures, and celebrations in between. Social enterprise is an idea whose time has come, and the future of business has never looked so good.
Wow, 3 years in the making. The New Breed, newbreed.tv, also for everybody out there who wants to go there and take a look at the website and find out how to watch the film right there. And I mean, incredible. Just incredible cinematography in that. And I really want to dig in on some of the stories, and I know that's why you need to watch the movie. But maybe in particular, just that Uganda segment just kind of really stood out to me. I mean, I've never been to Uganda. I would love to go check that out. I mean, it just seems amazing. But what was, maybe we can talk about what the story was behind that part.
Sure. That was the main story that got me excited about this movement.
Yeah.
It's a company called Crochet Kids.
Okay.
They're now called Known Supply. They've had a brand change, which is what the film's about. But 10 years ago, these high school students went to Uganda and saw poverty firsthand, and they thought, this is messed up. What can we do to help? What can we give you guys, because we come from a rich country?
Yeah.
And the biggest takeaway that they heard from the people living in poverty in Uganda was, we don't want you to give us anything. We want opportunity. We want a job. We want to provide for ourselves. There's charities come over here all the time and give us things. We don't want more gifts.
Right.
We want to be empowered.
Because, I mean, where are you going to, yeah, that's nice, a temporary solution, but
Exactly.
yeah, it doesn't help you in the long run.
Totally.
So what did they do from there?
So they had one skill. These teenage boys from Spokane, Washington, they knew how to crochet beanies because they were snowboarders. So they thought, okay, if we teach these women how to crochet, we'll buy the beanies from them and we'll see if we can sell them back in America.
Nice.
And so that was 10 years ago, and now they employ 150 women in Uganda and Peru to crochet beanies, and you can buy them in Nordstrom's and Patagonia and different stores.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, and that is the definition of a social entrepreneur, like helping out and still doing a business at the same time. You know, best of both worlds, really.
Totally.
When it comes down to it. And so you were over there. How long did that take to film in Uganda?
I was in Uganda for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was including shooting them making the products, hanging out with Cole, who's a co-founder, and just traveling with him while he met the graduates. After 3 years, women graduate from the program and start their own business.
Wow.
So it really is an empowerment program.
So they start one and then teach other people and then continues on like that.
Exactly.
And get that entrepreneurial, spirit and that kind of education, I guess, as far as how to run a business. That's incredible. And that's just one of the places that you talk to in this, one of the social entrepreneurs. Well, let's talk about some of the things that we have here on the table. So I know we've got this and a couple other things that we're going to bring up.
We got a skateboard.
Yes, a skateboard too. So what's going on here? Let's talk about these.
Okay, so let's talk about the skateboard first.
Okay.
So this is a company called Marriott, and they're based in Ventura, California, and they're 3 surfing dudes, and they were sick of seeing plastic pollution in the ocean. 10% of all plastic pollution is fishing nets, discarded fishing nets.
Yeah.
So their solution was, let's collect these discarded fishing nets, melt them down into raw plastic, and make it into products that people want to buy.
That's so cool.
So this product here, this skateboard, is made out of 100% recycled fishing nets.
Wow.
That are
I'm going to show it just on the top of
destroying our oceans.
100% fishing nets.
100%.
How are they getting them out of the water?
So they started getting them out of the water, but now they're trying to prevent them from ending up there in the first place. Okay. So they're working with the local fishermen, educating them about pollution, supplying them with big bins where they can put their empty nets in.
Instead of throwing them out and, yeah.
Exactly, and they're paying the fishermen to discard their waste with Barreo.
That's a smart move.
Incentivizing.
Yeah, make it worth their while to do that and learn at the same time. And what's the name of this company again?
Barreo.
Barreo.
Which means waves in Mapudungun, which is a Chilean native language.
Very cool. So
yeah.
We're learning all kinds of things here today. And then I'm noticing these too. We've got the socks.
So this is the third entrepreneur. This is the newest company. It's called Bon Folk.
Okay.
Good folk in French. She's from New Orleans. It's a young woman called Jenna Blackheart. And it's basically the one-for-one model, similar to Tom's Shoes. Mm-hmm. Every pair of socks that she sells, she gives a pair of socks to a homeless person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good person. That's somebody doing something good there. And that's cool. And so again, what was this called?
Bon Folk.
Bon Folk.
Good folk.
Good folk.
Yeah.
And these are just a couple of the different things, different products that we're talking about. And were these featured in the documentary?
Yeah. Okay. So there's 3 entrepreneurs I follow for 2 years, and they're all very sick of me.
2 of them.
hanging out with them too long with the camera. And they're trying to run a business, and I'm like trying to like.
They're in their face, yeah.
Exactly.
No, tell me another story. Tell me this.
Yeah.
Well, and again, the New Breed, so newbreed.tv.
Exactly.
That's the place to go.
Yep.
For people to check this out. So what's next for you now that you've done this? 3 years of your life, in this film. Where do you go from there?
Yeah, so...
Take a break, or do you start in on something else?
I'm not very good at taking breaks.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to jump straight into my next project. And I mean, The New Breed was such an intellectually difficult film to get my head around. This whole social enterprise movement.
Right. Well, and just interviewing 100 different people, too, to try to find the right subjects. That's a lot to process.
It was big. And it's got political undertones, economic undertones. It was a big topic. So my next film, I'm going to keep it pretty simple.
Okay.
And it's a feature film about emo.
About emo?
Yeah.
Like emo music?
Did you have an emo phase?
Yeah. Yeah, I shouldn't admit that. I'm admitting lots of things. Yes. No, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah,
It's cool.
Yeah, I had an emo phase. There's pictures out there. Is more what I'm worried about. But so what about emo? What about emo in particular?
Well, there's never really been a film about this amazing music.
Yeah, because I was going to say even the definition emo is pretty broad. I feel like everybody's kind of got their own definition of what it is.
Totally. Yeah.
Whether you're going to the goth side or you go to I don't know. There's all kinds of different definitions you could have. So that's interesting. So you're going to follow like the bands on it and.
Well, I'm going to go back to the 90s
and
talk about emo before it became sweeping fringes and self-harming and nail polish.
Yeah.
Go back to like The Promise Ring and Braid and Jazz and all these amazing bands that never really got the attention they deserved. But they set up bands that became famous in the 2000s.
Right.
But they didn't get any of the credit for it. So I'm going to go back and check out those bands.
And chase the roots of it. Yeah, you're right. I've never seen anything on emo, so that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
On all your success. And again, the New Breed, newbreed.tv, and go there and check out the movie, check out these products, the social entrepreneurs of the world working on that, and we really appreciate Pete stopping in here. Pete, where can people follow you? What is another way, just before we go to break?
The website's the best source, because there's social media links on there, and you can join our mailing list, which is where you'll find out when the film's available. Okay. So the next step for us is to go to film festivals. The film's done, so it's going to film festivals now for the next few months, and then we'll probably be available March, April next year.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, and actually, I think we're just, I don't know where you go from here. I think we're just going to close the show because, you were the highlight here. We've got this. So I want to say thank you to everybody tuning in to Digital Trends Live, wrapping up another week of live programming, live every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, bringing you all the tech headlines, bringing you interviews, bringing you lots. Today, we've started off with Caleb Dennison in here talking about, well, the 500 million accounts that were hacked through Marriott. Go to digitaltrends.com. We'll keep you up to date on how you can find out if you were hacked. And then we went from there. We went to New York, our New York studio with Jeremy Kaplan with his Hear Me Out segment, which we love every week. Every Friday he's got his segment. We had Matt Smith in for Explain Yourself, talking about the Cats and Computers video. And then, of course, Pete Williams in here to talk about The New Breed and his movie. Broadcasting live, like I said, leave your comments, your questions. We just appreciate everybody tuning in, and hit subscribe. Whatever platform you're watching on, hit subscribe. Make sure that you are notified when we go live, and check out all of the amazing programming that we've got, because it continues on at noon Pacific. That's about 2 hours from now. We're going to have Between the Streams, which is our show that's about movies and entertainment. We'll go kind of in depth on some different films that are coming out right now, and some different things that you can be aware of for the weekend, things that you can stream while you're at home over the weekend. And speaking of that, my voice is perfect time. It is Denim Friday, and thank you everybody for tuning into Digital Trends Live. Have a great weekend, and we will be right back here with you on Monday.